the most vulnerable things I think you can do in the world is to sing for people. Makes me chokes me up right now, like recognizing how many times over that isn't necessarily easy. It isn't easy to just like lower all your walls and barriers and vibrate in front of everyone and hope that it's received. It's not, it doesn't like, it wasn't ever easy, but it's so worth what you have to overcome to let go of trying to have a result. And if you just like allow yourself to give a gift like that, then singing stays like fun as opposed to a production of ear candy.
Are you ready to get intimate? What is intimacy? And where and how do you find it? Welcome to the Getting Intimate podcast, a daring journey into the heart of intimacy with you, your senses, the whole world, and all the creatures in it. Intimacy can be a pretty wild ride, filled with both longing and apprehension. But what if the vulnerability of intimacy isn't something to be avoided, but celebrated? What if getting intimate is the key to finally coming alive? Discover more with guests from all walks of life and your host, Katarina. Welcome to this new episode of the Getting Intimate podcast. And a few episodes ago, we were exploring having intimacy with stepping into the world and being our voice. And this time, we're diving into having intimacy with the very vibration of our voice, the frequency of the instrument that we be. And as our guide, I have invited Désirée DuMonde, who is an opera singer, a teacher, a facilitator of consciousness, and a seeker of shiny, beautifully sounding things. And welcome, Désirée.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this beautiful conversation.
Well, so let's start there. How did you discover that you had a voice? How did you discover that the vocal cords of you wanted to contribute to the world?
It's such a freedom. The minute the music starts, you're beyond the script of relationships and what's going on. You get to resonate all these vibrations and play with all these colors and sounds, but you also get to tell a story. And one of the things I love about singing is you get to take people away from the story they think is their life, and they'll meander with you along the storyline of the song. Not that that's the most relevant aspect, but it's just this seduction away from what is so significant in their world. And before they know it, they don't even know what the song was about. They just relaxed. They let go of something. They forgot to be worried. They forgot to be stressed.
Well, it sounds there like you're taking them along an acoustic way somewhere.
Also be exposed as the being that you are, because you're also taking your personalities and setting it aside. And hey, it's like one of the most vulnerable things I think you can do in the world is to sing for people. Chokes me up right now, like recognizing how many times over that isn't necessarily easy. It isn't easy to just like lower all your walls and barriers and vibrate in front of everyone and hope that it's received. It's not, it doesn't like, it wasn't ever easy, but it's so worth what you have to overcome to let go of trying to have a result. And if you just like allow yourself to give a gift like that, then singing stays like fun as opposed to a production of ear candy,
Well, I heard you talk about having a vulnerable voice. So what does that mean?
I think first and foremost, it's to not let anything stop you from, it's like not letting the song, not letting the listeners, and not letting yourself stop you from moving forward. So the vulnerability is like, when you're singing there, it's like the shortest increments of creation, because it's like every second you're actually phonating sound into the space. There's no time. Like, I've over the years, like, working with singers too, like, it's faster than, like, a sewing machine where you're just, like, moving this thing out of your body. You have to be willing to really give up judgment of you, judgment of what it sounds like, judgment of the gift itself. You have to really trust gifting whatever that raw and living thing is. And I think it's the vulnerability comes from the instantaneous creation alongside of
Mm.
there's no time to judge anything. And so it's just so naked. It's so exposed. It's like I don't know how else to describe it, but if you can imagine like uh, it's the fastest moving thing I've ever created.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way of describing it. And I've never looked at it like that. Yes, it's like, it's kind of like you can't catch up with yourself because you are at the same place where your voice is. You don't have time to think before, obviously. You just go with the flow.
It's demanding the vulnerability of trust, and it's also the vulnerability also is the kindness to you to like whatever your intention is. Say you're creating a particular ambiance with that particular piece. There's something in the vulnerability of allowing yourself to be magical. You have to be willing to like kind of be in the future and be in the present and move molecules, and you can't really control anything. And as soon as you do, it can be a short ride to, choking up or breaking out. And, I've had all those things happen too. But the fun part is when you give up the fear of failure, fear of error, and you're in that speed of gifting. And you're also, when that's occurring, you have the awareness of the speed of people receiving. And that was one of the things that took me a lot of experience, maybe not for everybody else, but I had to get used to being able to reach that many people simultaneously and not feel like I'd done something wrong. When you really touch people and they crack open, it's very easy to suddenly want to apologize. I'll stop singing, sorry. To allow yourself to receive what you've created in people is another level of vulnerability. So that's where the gifting and receiving becomes like tremendous surfing on large acoustic waves.
Well, also the humming and singing also affects your body. It affects your vagus nerve. It affects your parasympathetic system. And with opera singing, I find it so amazing because it's literally the body is the soundboard, is the vibration board, is the speaker. It's like everything comes from here. There's no other elements involved. So how does that affect your body? How does it affect your body to sing opera?
For me, it was always like all pistons firing. All of my systems, I had to allow everything to function. All my systems were functioning at a high level, but I had to be really relaxed and calm. It's like doing the opposite of what it appears to be.
Mm.
And it doesn't always work that way. Your body is different every day, so your instrument's different every day, and you have to be kind to you. It's not going to sound the same every day. But I would say on those days where it's just clean and clear and all of your work and effort over the years line up and it's it's pure orgasmic pulsing gifting. um it's like the most alive I one of the most alive places that I got to experience this lifetime. And not just because of the intensity of the vibration, but getting it to a place where I could have it on 100% and be relaxed at the same time was taught me a lot about a lot of different aspects of my life, that I could be that on and I could be that expanded. I could be that generous all at the same time. These were not different categories of life.
Is there something else in life that reminds you of that? Like if somebody listens to this and they may never even have listened to opera, like something, is there something in life that you could compare singing opera to that would be similar?
I for me, it's riding my horse.
Mm.
Very much, very similar in the sense that there's a lot going on. There's a lot of things to pay attention to. There's a lot of presence required. But if you twist that into like being paranoid and scared and anticipating the worst case scenario every time you hear the hooves hit the ground, it's going to be a not very fun ride. So there's a level of vulnerability. Excuse me. There's a level of intensity
Yeah.
and aliveness and unpredictability that's there with a horse. There's all the receiving. There's a lot of communication with my body, with her body, with what we're doing. A lot of turning things up, but being as relaxed as possible and trusting of myself and also of her. And to me, it's almost when I'm with her, it's more like the thrill of singing with another singer. Like it's one thing to
I
just stand
see.
there and sing, but one of the gifts of opera is when you're singing a great duet or a great quartet, and all of our bodies are doing this thing together. And so I think one of the gifts that this can all that teach anybody, whether you're a singer or not, is to allow yourself to engage your body intimately, presently with another body, with maybe the body of the earth, maybe the body of your horse, maybe the body of your children. But it's like we're always doing things. We're trying to do things rather than really create together. And so writing for me is a lot like creating music. We're so funny, we don't often really look at creation together. People are in business together, they're doing things together, they're creating results together. But with music, it really rehydrated this memory, like a remembrance of many, many, many times over of what it is to create with others. And I love music, but creation with others, like sounding when you're singing in a choir or you're listening to a whole choir of people, you're literally in the composition. It's not everybody's doing something, then you're sold the product or the result. You're in it, you're part of it. It's inclusive.
During a period, you lost your voice or you had a harder time singing. Is that correct?
I never lost my voice vocally, but I've definitely taken breaks from singing. Yes.
What was that like? And how did you work
Yeah.
on changing it?
Um, it's been a learning, it's part of learning how to be that vulnerable and also the kindness to your own body. So the thing is it never will go away. So first of all, like whatever your gifts are, listeners, whatever your gift is, no matter how long you might have set the pen down or the paintbrush or whatever, it's never gone away.
No.
One of the greatest gifts I think in this lifetime is that I used to just be an outpouring with not a lot of awareness of me and what the toll it was taking on my body or necessarily like what I require in order to function at that level. What do I require to stay spinning that fast and to have, that much vulnerability all the time? This reality, modern culture that didn't present to me. I didn't know how to give myself enough nourishment to keep going that way. So we could call it breaks out of fatigue or
Mm.
burnout. It's things like that happen or, like grief or something in your life where you're like, I can't be on the outpouring. I got to have somebody sing to me for a while, which I do. And I'll go anywhere in the world to hear certain voices pour all over me. And I know, like, I'll never not give, I'll never not sing. But it's one of those things where the tools of access have always helped me really be in the question of like, and the awareness of what it is I'm doing when I'm doing that. What is my body? What's occurring here? And what do I require? So this is ease and this is fun and it stays on a level of expansion, not depletion. And I definitely you know, I was a young singer and I oversang and I worked too hard and I did too much and it's very easy to burn out. It also your spirit can get, you know, I'm gonna say it this way, but I know there was a point where I didn't trust. I didn't know that there would be anyone out there that was really it was really landing anymore. That like what I had to offer, is this really landing anymore? And when it's going through business and industry, it can feel less vulnerable and more like a product. And now I have different questions and different tools of what I'd like to do with it and how I'd like to gift it. But to explore and to make sure that if you're that vulnerable and you're that gifting, to find something, thank goodness I found access consciousness, but to find something that works for you to keep you and your body and your gift well fed. Because in this world, it's like you're supposed to pump it all out until you're on empty and then you're dismissed next, And that's not really where our gifts come from. Our gifts come from a wild spirit of unending life. I know my voice comes from a desire to make people want to keep living. It's literally part of the like I can start fires with this thing. I can get people to want to keep going or to let themselves die in peace. I sing to create whatever, to create ease with people's choices, to give them freedom to keep moving, just like the sound moves. Um, and so, you got to you got to love your gift and take good care of it. So if it's been on the shelf, to not make yourself wrong, which I used to do, I thought I had to sing every day in order to be a singer. That's not actually true. But when you find something to care for you, care for your gift, and so you can gift more generously, then man, don't let that go. And however long it takes to feed the belly of your spirit, feed it, and you'll be painting, singing, whatever it is in no time. At the end of the day, even if it was a 10-year gap, it's going to feel like nothing because you got to do it from that space of intimacy. Otherwise, what's it for?
Yeah. I think that's a beautiful way to end. Thank you so much for coming on and exploring all over the place, as appropriately so.
Thank you so much. I hope it's been a contribution and I enjoy being with you.
Thank you.